a little different this time. The program that I'm targeting will involve something a little bit different. What is the program to be written? Sum of n numbers where each number will be inputted by the user. I mean to say, user will firstly input the value of n. Say for example, I ask for the value of n from the user and user says that n is 5, which means he will input 5 numbers. Then the user will say the first number is 23, second number is 18, the third number is 41, fourth number is 6 and fifth number is 19. And you will have to output the sum, which means you will have to output 23 plus 18, which is 41, plus 41 is 82, plus 6 is 88, plus 19 is 107. So you will have to output 107. So I think you understand this. N5 will be inputted by the user and the numbers will also be inputted by the user. Similarly, user may input n to be 7 maybe, and when he inputs the numbers, the individual numbers are also inputted by the user, maybe 100 as the first number, 23 as the second number, 2 as the third number, 31 as the fourth number, 3 as the fifth number, and maybe 4 as the, or maybe 21 as the sixth number, and then finally 17 as the seventh number. So these 7 numbers are inputted by the user. Now what you will have to do, you will have to output the sum, which means what do you need to output in this case? 100 plus 23, 123, plus 2, 125, plus 31, 156, plus 3, 159, plus 21, that is 180, and 17, 197. So you will have to output this. So this is the program to be written. Now do you notice one thing? N is to be inputted from the user only. So you really don't know how many numbers you need to scan. While writing the program as a programmer, when you are writing this program, you don't know how many numbers the user will enter. User can enter whatever number, how many numbers the user will enter, that will also be entered by the user because the value of n will be inputted by the user. So it definitely means that I will have to input these numbers that many times as is the value of n, but I don't know the value of n. So I will have to scan this numbers, scan that many times as the value of n. Does not that mean that I will have to scan also within the while loop? The scanning needs to be done also within the while loop, don't you think so? That scanning these numbers will also have to be done within the while loop. So I will input the value of n from the user. The while loop will run from 1 to 7, that is it will start from I equal to 1 and will continue till I is less than equal to 7, and every time in the while loop I will have to scan a number. This is the new thing I was talking about. Till now I have never scanned within the while loop. This is something new. I will scan within the while loop. However, when I scanf, that means when I scanf, I will have to write that scanf within the while loop. Now, do I need to write the printf also within the while loop? Will not look good because 7 times I will not say that tell the user enter the number, enter the number, enter the number. I will not tell him 7 times, maybe if the value of n is 7. If the value of n is 100 times I will not tell the user that keep on enter the number, enter the number, enter the number, and so on. Instead, what I will do is I will print one time only, enter n numbers, whatever is the value of n, and then I will scan within the while loop. Don't you think so? Okay then, so let me now start writing the program. Let me comment these portions out because this is not really part of the program. So I comment these things out. Now I start with the program. How to start with the program? Definitely I need to start with the hash include things. So let me start with the hash include stdio.h followed by hash include kunio.h followed by the main definitely and then the clear screen. Let me start the program from here. I will have to tell the user, firstly ask from the user, printf enter n. whatever is the value of n, you tell, that is, you enter how many numbers you will enter. So I will have to scan that again in a variable maybe called n itself, n numbers, n is the value, this many numbers I will scan from the user. So I scan the value of n first, but to scan within n, definitely I will need an integer called n, let it be there. Now I scan within n. Now I know these many numbers will be inputted by the user. So don't you think I will have to printf enter n numbers, enter n numbers one by one, enter n numbers one by one, that should be the thing. However, if you want to specifically write enter these many numbers, you already know the value of n over here, n contains that value. So if you have to be specific that these many numbers, I can write enter %d numbers, and I can use n to replace that %d. So I think you understand this. Now I will have to scan. How to scan? I will have to scan every time once in the loop. I will have to scan n numbers. So I know the value of n is this, which is scanned already, whatever it is value inputted by the user. So I will have to scan within the loop. I will have to start from I equal to 1 definitely. So I need a variable called I. Now one thing I tell you over here, you can also initialize when you are declaring. That is, the I to be initialized to 1 can be written when you are declaring I, so that I equal to 1 may be avoided over here. However, if you feel it is not good, you can also avoid declaration over here, and you can avoid assigning the value over here, and you can only declare over here and then assign the value later, which we were doing till now. However, I have done a new thing over here. So how long will this I continue? While I less than equal to n. So I is 1. Initially when I is 1, it will firstly scan the first number. When I is 2, it will scan the second number. When I is 3, the third number. When I is 4, the fourth number, and so on. So I will keep on scanning the value of I will keep on scanning that many times. So I will continue like this. I is just the count. So every time, if you understand, I will have to scan. Every time I will have to scan the next number. Where to scan it? Next value, next val, because I know, sorry, don't forget the ampersand next val. So scan every time I am scanning the next value. So understand, I will need, what is this next val? First time I am expecting it to be 100 over here in this example. First time next val will scan 100. Second time when the loop moves and goes to the second time next val will scan 23. And when it again goes back to the loop, next val will scan 2, and so on. So it scans the next val. So every time I am scanning, so every time I scan this value, you understand, first time it gets, you take this case, I is 1, it gets into the loop, scanf %d ampersand next val. Consider user has entered 100. So it will go back to the loop again, next val is 100, but it goes back to the loop. When it goes back to the loop, next time scan, user will enter 23 and next val will become 23. The previous value 100 is lost. So what I need to do is, here only I will have to add this next val to sum and keep on incrementing, which means the sum will also have to be initialized to 0 at the very beginning. Declaring and initializing you can do over here. Sum is equal to 0. You can do that. Sum is initialized to 0, and you scan the next val. That is, first time in this example, first time 100 is scanned. So next val scans 100. Next val is added to sum. Next time again goes to the loop. Next val scans 23. 23 is added to sum, and so on. Next time it again goes. User enters, this time in this example 2. So next val is 2. Next val 2 added to sum. So sum keeps on incrementing accordingly. So sum equal to sum plus next val, or else you can write, as I have already told you before, sum equal to sum plus next val can be written as sum plus equal to next val. So every time sum will keep on incrementing. So I know the last time when I is equal to n, in this example n is 7. So when it enters the 7th time in the loop, n, this next val will be 17. So this next val 17 will be added, will be scanned and then added to sum, and then it will go out of the loop containing the sum, entire sum thing. So here the program will end with the get ch, and I can run this program easily now. Alt enter. Should I explain it once more before running it? Very quickly, very quickly. See, int n, I have taken a value n. That n is scanned within this variable n. This whatever how many numbers the user will input. Then I tell the user enter that many numbers. Every time in the loop I has been initialized to 1, and it keeps on incrementing 1, 1, 1, 1 and so on. So every time in the loop I am scanning next val. Sum is added, next val is added to sum. So sum is incrementing every time that is incrementing, but you notice I have missed out something. What is that? If you do not increment the I within the loop, I plus plus I missed out, because if you don't increment the I within the loop, I will every time remain 1. So never ever it will go out of the program. It will remain within the I will keep on remaining 1, 1, 1, 1, and every time you will keep on scanning. So I will have to be incremented by 1, so that when it reaches n, then you go out of the program. I think you understand this. Let me run this program now. Oh my god, another bracket, I need to just delete it. So this is the program to be run now. Alt enter. Oh, there is an error. What error? Undefined symbol next val. I forgot to define next val. I think many of you might have noticed, so I define it. Anyway, run again. No errors this time. So 5 numbers I tell. See, it writes enter 5 numbers. Let me say 23, 75, which means 75 plus 23 is 98. Then say 1, then say 67, then say 41. So how much? 75 plus 23, 98, plus 1 is 99, plus 67 is 166, plus 41 is 167 and 40, 207. Let me run it. What happened? Oh, I think again I made that mistake. I did not print the sum at all. If I don't print the sum, where from will it show? The sum is %d. So see, I am writing the program continuously with you and expecting that you will keep on writing with me, and you will learn the programming this way. So yes, there is no problem if you make errors, because through the process of doing errors you are learning itself. Doesn't matter. So let me run this time. This time it will run. Enter n, say 5. Enter 5 numbers. So what did I enter? 23. Then 75. I forgot. Next time I remember 1 most probably. Then 67. Then I forgot. Maybe 34. Okay. So what will be the output now? 23 plus 75, 98, plus 199, plus 67 is 166, plus 34 is 200. So exactly 200. The sum is 200. So it runs fine. Let me run once more. Enter maybe 7 numbers this time. 2 firstly, then 45, then 51, then 3, then 8, then 19. How many numbers already? 6 numbers already done. Maybe 32. So how much? 45 plus 2, 47, plus 51, 98, plus 3, 101. 101 and 8, 109. 109 and 19, 128, and 32, 160. So the sum is 160. So I think you understand this. So this much. Wonderful. So you have understood this. I can only tell you that when I come back, you may take a bit of break. When we come back, I will show you something which is maybe again something new. So okay, till then, thank you.